What's going on, everybody? You like fast electric bikes? Yep, me too. This is one of them right here. I've started collecting 40-mile-an-hour electric bikes. This is my homemade version, the DIY fast electric bike, dual motors. It's pretty crazy. Let me show you what it can do. All right, well, as stated, this is my homemade bike. I put a geared hub motor in the front, 750 geared hub, 750 geared hub in the back. I've got a battery right here that runs the rear wheel, a battery in the pack here that runs the front wheel, two separate controllers. This thing's just an animal. There's not been a bike yet. I've tested 50 plus e-bikes. Nothing has come close to matching the acceleration of this bike. It all lies in the controllers. 35 amp controllers, two of them on there, running each wheel separately. That's what gives this thing insane power. It'll beat anything off the line, and it's a lot of fun to ride. A little turn on the front motor here, turn on the rear motor here. All right, we got a thumb throttle for the front wheel here and a twist throttle for the back here, and you hit both and you go like crazy. I mean, squealy burnout. It's hard to get traction. I put on these Originate Captivator tires, a smooth tire, to try to get more bite on the ground. If I lean forward a little bit, it's better, but I was doing that just for fun, get the squealy burnout. This thing's pretty crazy. Let's see if we can't light it up a little bit right here. So we hit 35 with ease, 36, 37. This bike is about a 37-mile-an-hour bike. I say it's 40, but this is the slowest of the fast bikes now, believe it or not. I've got multiple bikes in the garage that are 40 plus mile per hour. This one does about 37 on its top speed, but it gets there in a hurry. Holy cow. This is by far, hands down, absolute the fastest accelerating bike that I've ever tried. Nothing touches this off a drag race. So, and that's what I like. I would rather have, you know, a 30-mile-an-hour bike that accelerates like bananas than a 40-mile-an-hour bike that's slower off the line. I love the acceleration. That's the fun part to me. And we'll go out here real quick. Oh gosh, you got to be careful of that front wheel. It started to spin out there as I was turning. Yeah, you got to be careful when you got a front wheel motor like that making turns. You don't want any loss of traction. That's when you're going to go down. I'll put all the list of stuff I used to build this in the description so you can find it if you want to build it, because you can't buy it. This is, you know, Citizen Cycle 4.0, homemade. You're not going to be able to buy this bike. You're going to have to build it. But I've got multiple bikes now that go around that 40-mile-an-hour mark. And I've decided I think I might just start collecting bikes at that high performance level and showing you what's out there. The other ones in the garage that do that are the Wired Freedom. I just did a video on that recently showing it go downhill. It was going 44 miles an hour down a big hill. On level ground, you can hit, you know, 38, 39. You can touch 40 on level ground. The other one is the fabulous Road Warrior all-wheel drive XT. That is the other one. That's a dual motor bike as well, like this one. The Wired Freedom is just a single rear big hub motor. The fabulous bike is a dual motor bike, and that one will go 40 very easily. And I've had it again on a downhill 42, 43 plus miles an hour. It's fast. It is fast. It doesn't have quite the down low grunty torque off the line like this does, because it's all in the controllers. The fabulous bike uses dual 17 amp controllers. This has dual 35 amp controllers. It's double what that bike does. That's what makes Citizen Bike so crazy. And I haven't shown you yet, but I've got one other bike in the garage that I just got that's going to be 40 plus mile an hour bike, and we're going to go take a look at that. Jeez, oh man. Oh, it never gets old. It never gets old. You got to be really careful trying to make a turn though. All right, we'll wait for this UPS truck, and then I think our road's clear. We'll go out here, get up to speed. We're back off the throttle, gosh. All right. 37, 38 on that one. But really easy to keep up in traffic with this bike. Let's go back home to the garage. I want to show you another bike that I'm working on. Hopefully have a video out to you very soon, and maybe we'll compile a whole bunch of these bikes and I'll be able to tell you which one's best. If you want to go keep up with traffic, be 35, 40 miles an hour. See how I made that turn? Rear wheel only. You don't want to hit the front wheel on the turn. It will just whip out from underneath you. The knowledge of all-wheel drive. Only use it in a straight line. Don't turn the wheel at all. All right, we'll do one final hooligan burnout here. Being that the systems are independent, that's how I do the alternating wheel burnouts like that. I can hold the back brake, hit the front motor, burn the front wheel. Same here, hold the back brake, hit the rear motor, burn the back wheel. I've got the motor cutoffs wired up where, you know, this cuts the back motor, this cuts the front motor. So yeah, because I've got extra plugs there. It's a complicated system. It's a DIY, but I think it works better because I can control the throttles independently. But let's hightail it out of here. Oh gosh, I love that. Oh gosh. All right, you ready? We're gonna do one last test. This is gonna be 0 to 30. We're gonna time it. 3, 2, 1, go. And right there. That was pretty fast. I didn't even get good traction. All right, I'm gonna show you all the fastest bikes that are in my garage right now, and I'm gonna show you a little sneak peek at the new one, a review I'm currently working on, because that bike is gonna be in the 40-mile-an-hour club as well. So let's get them lined up. Here's what is in my garage in terms of powerful electric e-bikes. There's 4 here to show you, and I'm always looking for more. So drop it in the comment section if you know of a fast, powerful electric bike that you want me to showcase on this channel. I'll consider going out and buying it and doing a video on it for you just to show everyone what it's like. But I'm gonna walk you through these 4 really quick. I'll reveal one at the end that I'm working on right now. Full review will be out on it soon, but the first one is the Citizen bike. If you watch my channel, you know this bike. The custom build, dual 750 motors, geared hub motors, one in the front, one in the back. We have dual 52 volt batteries, one in the pack, one on the frame, dual 35 amp controllers, and they are both right here. Dual everything, dual throttles, dual screens. This is quite an elaborate wiring mess, but hey, it works. It works well. It's the fastest accelerating bike by far of anything that I've ever tested. A lot of fun. I've done a ton of videos on this thing. Look through my playlist if you want to know more about it. About 37 miles an hour and just blistering fast acceleration as you saw earlier. Let's check out the one behind it. This is the Wired Freedom e-bike, and it's right around that 40-mile-an-hour mark as well. Level ground, I can get it to 38, 39, touch on that 40 mark. I weigh 180 pounds, and it's able to do that with me on level ground. Downhill, it's much faster. I've hit 44 plus on going down a big hill. And it's got a powerful motor here. The hang tie motor, it's 1500 watt, I think, motor, peaks well over 2000 watts. The setup on this bike is just a really strong rear hub motor. There's no motor in the front. It's all rear motor, and it is crazy powerful. 60 volt battery system on here, 20 amp hour, 60 volt with a 40 amp controller. That's sending a ton of power to this rear hub motor. I've seen it peak around the 2300 mark, 2300 watts. It's a really powerful bike. It's a lot of fun, full suspension, very comfortable, rack fenders included, BMX bars. Check it out if you're looking for a, this is your budget option. This is the bang for your buck. 2,000 bucks for this. $19.99 plus I think you pay shipping. Depending on where you live, that's probably going to be, 100 to 300 bucks. So right around that $2,000 mark, and you're getting this beast of a bike. This is the bang for your buck of all these bikes in this garage. My custom build was thousands and thousands of dollars. I dumped into that thing to make it like that. This is your budget option. This bike's a killer. Looks fantastic. Comes in multiple colors. Again, I don't work for these companies. They send me the bike to review, and then everything I do after the review video is just videos that I come up with and create myself because I like the bikes. So I don't get anything to buy any of these. I'm not an affiliate of any of these places. So I just show you bikes I like and bikes that are fun. This is one of them. This is a crazy fun bike. Check it out. Wired Freedom. Let's check out the one right behind it. This one is the fabulous Road Warrior all-wheel drive XT model, and this is the USA version, which makes a difference. Fabulous is based out of Canada. They sell kind of different versions based on what they're allowed to sell legally in each country. The USA one's a little bit faster. It's got slightly different motors in it. This one is just as fast, about 40 mile an hour bike. I've hit it, 43 plus miles an hour going downhill. It achieves its speed like my Citizen bike does. It's got dual motors. So again, you got geared hub motors, a 750 geared hub in the front, 750 geared hub in the back. It has a massive battery pack, 24 amp hour, and it's a 60 volt. Big, huge, giant battery in the frame right there, slides down in the frame. And then it's got two controllers. I thought it only had one when I did the review, but it's got one here, and there's one like hidden inside the frame up here. Dual 17 amp controllers controlling each motor. It's not as fast accelerating as my Citizen bike because mine has dual 35 amp controllers. This has got dual 17 amp. It's still got great hill climb power, great acceleration, and great speed. It is a super fast bike. This is probably just a touch faster than the wired bike, maybe like a mile an hour if I cranked it up to the max. And it's, I think, around the $2,800, $2,900 mark in that neighborhood for the USA model. And I can't stress this enough. If you're considering the Fabulous bikes, you live in the US, make sure you go to their USA website. It's fab-usa.com and get the USA version. That way you're going to get all of the speed out of it. This bike, the one that's selling in Canada, I think tops out maybe 32, 33 miles per hour. So if you're going to get this bike and you live in the USA, make sure you get the USA version. Sorry to my Canadian friends that yours isn't quite as fast. Maybe you can get one over the border somehow. I don't know. But this is the Road Warrior. One to definitely check out. Very cool looking bike. I love the wheel punch outs, with the red punch outs there. RC guide forks, nice forks on it. Rack fenders included. And it's got, let's see, trigger shifters up here. Color display, of course. This is your all-wheel drive button on and off. So the bike's rear-wheel drive until you hit the button, and then it's all-wheel drive. There is no front-wheel drive on this bike. Same with their other ones, the Havoc and the EMX Extreme. I've tested both of those. I've done a bunch of Fabulous bikes. You can check my playlist for those. But very cool, and again, super powerful around the 40 mile an hour mark. You want speed and power. I'm showing you the bikes that I've got that got it. And there's another one that I recently got hiding right here. Any guesses on what it is? Let me pull that one out. Okay, giving you guys a sneak peek. This bike I just got in and I'm working on the review right now. Any guesses on what this could be? Let me get it unwrapped for you. There she is. This is the Spark Cycleworks Bandit. Very powerful bike. You want speed and power, this is one you should definitely add onto your list as well. This is a bike that Spark's been sending around to a bunch of different reviewers, and fortunate for me, I was next in line. So I got my hands on this to ride and test it and kind of share that experience with all of you. And forgive me, I have not memorized all the specs on this bike yet, but I do know it's got a 2,000 watt rear hub motor, big, huge rear hub motor. I mean, straight up motorcycle shocks on this thing. Headlight, taillight, turn signals, brake lights. I mean, look at the headlights. Brightest headlights I've had. They're basically motorcycle headlights. Turn signals. The battery pack right here, 52 volt, 25 amp hour. So big battery pack. Look at the size of this chainring. Gosh, that is huge. I think it might be like a 60 tooth. Looks as big as the wheels. No ghost pedaling on this thing. I've taken it down the street a handful of times. It did hit over 40. So I'll give you the exact numbers when we finish the review on this thing completely. But This is, how to describe this. My initial rides on it, where this thing is substantial. I mean, I've owned like 9 different motorcycles in my life. In terms of e-bikes, this is probably the one that's given me the most motorcycle feel so far. I don't know the weight on this thing. I haven't even weighed it yet, but it feels like a substantial planted, almost motorbike. I mean, it's like that moped style. You're not really going to be, it's got pedals, right? It's got pedals. You're really not going to be pedaling this thing a whole much. I think I rode it 5 miles around town. I don't think I pedaled it at all, really. I mean, you just, yeah. Bikes like this, they're pretty much throttle only. See if I can turn it on for you and get a look at what the screen looks like. There we go, firing up. There's your display. Cool looking display. And it's been, here's your button cluster over here. It's been very fast. I'm excited to show you everything I possibly can about this. Put in the comments what you want to know. If there's specific things about the Bandit that you want to know. And just so you're aware, this goes for, I think, around $3 grand. It made in the USA, built in Connecticut, not overseas in Asia. This is American-made electric bicycle built in Connecticut. Gosh, what else to tell you about this? Put it in the comments. What do you want to know? What do you want? I'm of course going to do full review, top speeds, hill climbs, go over all the specs in detail so you know what you're getting when you get this bike. I know they do custom builds on their website as well, but a bunch more to come on this. And this is one that's going to be added into that 40-mile-an-hour club as well with the other ones. Unfortunately, I don't get to keep this one. I got to ship this off to either someone else or back to them. This bike needs some love. It's got some damage on it. We'll overlook that for the review. And yeah, so there you go. There is some fast and powerful bikes that if you're looking for speed and power, some good options to consider. And like I said too, if you know of another one you want me to feature on the channel, drop it in the comments. I'm looking to kind of test the limits a little bit here of what you can get out there in the market in terms of most powerful bike that still feels like a bike. I know you can go out and get a Saran or a Talaria or all those, and I've considered that, but I want something I could conceivably ride around town and people will say, okay, yeah, that's just an electric bicycle. I think you can still get away with it with this. You could still say, hey, yeah, it's an electric bike and people are going to buy it, right? If you're riding a Saran, it's kind of hard to buy. Yeah, it's a bicycle. It's not really a bicycle. It's more like a dirt bike. Hope you enjoyed. I love showing you guys stuff like this. If you like information like this, consider hitting subscribe, coming back for more, and I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.